about time. It is about time to turn their negatives into your positives. How many of you in your lifetime have been told, you suck? You're no good. Well, more years ago than I care to remember, my first boss in TV news told me just that. He said, you suck. You don't have the look of a television anchor. You lack talent. So maybe you ought to look for another career. Well, I did what any proud 20-something would do. I smiled and said nothing. Like that didn't bother me at all. All that negative energy didn't bother me at all. And I swore my revenge would be my success. I probably needed to add to that equation, though, because there's another part of that. All the smiling and acting like it doesn't bother you is all well and good, but as soon as you get alone, you think about it. We can get 10,000 attaboys, way to go. You did a great job. We remember the guy that said you suck. That's who we remember. So what did I have to do? And it is what I want to talk about today because it is about time. And especially as women, we tend to internalize. I don't like to internalize the bad stuff because it takes away from the good stuff. So what did I do? I had to make a choice. Because we always hear the only realities and the things that we can't do away with in life, death and taxes. I'll add one to that. There will always be criticism. There will always be naysayers, and there will always be negativism. So what will you do with that? Well, what I did, as I told you, I smiled. But I also had to make another choice, and this one took a long time. More time than any negative energy, any criticism should take in your life. It took years for me to figure this out, but I did figure out I had a choice. And that choice was to get a tougher skin, to readjust my brain so I didn't take it all in and go home and cry about it. And this is what I challenge all of you to do. Change your way of thinking. And I have 3 ways of doing that. I embrace it, I question it, and I retool it. What did he say? I did not have the look of an anchor. I embraced that. But I thought about him, and he was a lot older than I. And I thought about the fact that I probably was not his idea of an anchor because I did not have blonde hair and blue eyes. Somehow that's not going to happen. Although now I will tell you I can buy a bottle and make me a blonde. And I can buy contacts and make my eyes blue. Not my choice. So I couldn't really do anything with that. But he was my boss, so I needed to embrace what he was saying and see how I could turn that into something positive. I thought about it. What I can use and what I need to give away. Embracing something does not mean internalizing it. It doesn't mean that when you go home you think about it over and over and over again. It simply means that you look at it honestly and you look at your role in that conversation. He was my boss. He felt entitled to tell me what I should and should not do. It was my choice not to listen. Because although I did not look like his anchor, I didn't agree with him that I had no talent. So I would just make myself better, and I would succeed. As soon as you embrace it, I question it. And I am a journalist, so I question it with the 5. Who, what, when, where, how, and why. What did he say to me? Why would he do that? Perhaps he was having a bad day. But I realized instantly it really had nothing to do with me, except for the fact that I could get better. What did he say? He said, I suck. Well, guess what? At the time, I actually did. Because I was thinking far more about who was watching me and who was paying attention than doing my job. So that I could work on, that I could keep, that I could actually thank him for. Because as I was saying, we remember the negative stuff that comes to us. Fortunately now, I can use it as a teaching tool to make you laugh. It's not internalized. I know who I am, and turning someone's negatives into positive is as simple as knowing who you are. If you know you're talented, and you know you have a skill set, then you walk through the mud and you make it happen. Did I have to work hard? Absolutely. Was I willing to put the work in? Absolutely. And that's the challenge. The other part of this system that I call EQR, which is embrace and question, is to retool. And that's when you step back and you say, here's what I can use, and I will. Here's what I need to let go, because that's your problem, not mine. And here is how I internalize the good stuff and make me better. I became that successful anchor. I became everything he said I couldn't be. But it had nothing to do with him, and everything to do with me changing my mindset. And that's what retooling is. Retooling is changing your mindset. No, never have blonde hair and blue eyes. Not worried about it. I've got beautiful friends that do. No, I'll probably never be a size 2. That's okay. I know who I am. I embrace who I am. I question what people say, because the negatives and the naysayers will always be there. There's always going to be something when you step out of your comfort zone. There will be someone who says, not so much. Or my favorite is, just stay in your lane. I like lots of lanes. And when you tell me not to go in that lane, it tells me I need to move forward. So here's what I took from that first experience. And this is how I retooled. I was not good because I had no comfort zone. I was uncomfortable, so I made my boss uncomfortable, and I probably made my viewers uncomfortable. So I said, how do I find my comfort zone? Y'all notice my lovely shoes? I took them off because I felt if I were comfortable and at home, I wouldn't have on shoes. So for about 20 years in TV, I never wore shoes. I took them off and became a fantastic anchor. Unless you read some of the emails, they didn't think so much. That's what it's about. If you want to turn someone's negatives into your positives, embrace it. Listen to it. Take it for what it's worth. We have social media. We have emails. We have all these things that can ruin your day. Sometimes you need a media blackout. Sometimes you need to stop reading. But whatever it is that it takes to put you in your comfort zone, find it. If you can't walk around the office with no shoes on, take them off under your desk. Be comfortable for that moment. Why? We don't have enough time to embrace or internalize negatives. We have a moment to embrace a conversation because we are connected, and another moment that we need to move on. It took me 20-something years to find my plan. I challenge you not to take that long. I'm a slow learner. I challenge you to find your comfort zone. Find whatever it takes so that it doesn't matter what people say to you. You know who you are, and you build from there. I did. And now it's become my life's work to help other people do the same. I am the happiest girl in the world, and I can take off my shoes when I want to. Thank you.